Google? Google who? No one's Googling anymore. They're opening ChatGPT and asking, who's the best mortgage broker near me? And if you're not showing up, congratulations, you're officially invisible. Here's the brutal truth. AI is the new gatekeeper. It pulls from your Google profile and your website, your reviews, and if those are empty or vague or not complete, then like a bad Tinder bio, it will send your leads to your competitor. Today, I'm going to show you how you can make AI want to recommend you so that you get found without burning piles of cash on ads. So stick around to the end, and I'll give you free access to our website content assistant custom GPT so you can instantly make your site AI friendly and ready to rank. So let's get out of the witness protection program and into the AI recommendation list. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Digital Advisor Weekly Broadcast. Looking to boost your business with the latest trends, innovative tech, and must-have resources? Join us to discover how to successfully scale your practice and automate the process. Here to guide you is your host, the dynamic leader of Advisor Marketing Hub and managing partner at American Financial, Rob Souza.
Hey, everybody. Rob Souza here from sunny Southern California, and we're about to kick off we started last week with the rise of AI in video, and today we're jumping into part two, the new Google replacement. And yes, it is AI. But first, let's get brutally honest. If you think people are still Googling you, think again. They're popping open ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity, and they're asking, who's the best financial advisor near me? Or which mortgage pro is worth trusting? And yes, if you're not showing up when that question is asked, now I can see it. Everybody's listening right now. They're probably going to ChatGPT and asking that question to see if you show up in the recommendations. Go ahead. I don't mind. I won't be offended if you pop open a tab and try it. But if you're not showing up in any of the recommendations, then change. Oh, who are the top 10 that you'd recommend in this area? And if you still don't come up, you're really in trouble, and we'll help you fix that. So if you're not listed, I guarantee you're struggling to get leads from any sort of search, which is just going to give you crickets. So here's why getting found by AI is critical for organic growth right now. Because AI, one, is the new search engine. It's the first stop that your future clients are going to go before they even think about Google. Now, AI will pull from Google. We'll go over that. But number two, AI recommends, not just lists. And there's a big difference because it's using all the reviews online. And AI keeps you, it skips you and recommends your competitor when it's taking a look at all the different review sites across the internet. Okay, so organic leads are also cheaper, but they're harder to get. And if you're not optimized for AI, you will spend way more on ads trying to replace the leads that you're missing from your organic search. And trust is shifting. Why? Because I'd rather trust AI to scrape the entire web instead of me spending an hour going through all the people in my area and like checking out their reviews and then checking out their website. I don't have time for that. I can just ask ChatGPT to check everybody out within a 10-mile radius and give me the ones that are the top ones with the most amount of positive feedback online. All right, so today we're going to show you exactly how to get AI to recommend you so you can keep, well, so that you can stay top of mind, that you can be found, and then eventually convert them into a paid client without increasing your ad spend or budgets for marketing. And by the way, if you stick around to the end of this broadcast, we're going to get you a link to join our free live masterclass this Friday, where we're going to get we're going to give exclusive access to our custom GPT tool that we've developed that will help you build out your website, your SEO, and create a personalized AI visibility plan to put everything you learned today into action, but personalized for you. No more note taking with zero action. You will leave with a clear AI powered plan so you can start getting found like in the next few weeks and recommended online immediately. So stay tuned, grab your coffee or your energy drink, and let's look at why all the best marketing coaches are telling you to optimize your SEO for ChatGPT and not Google. Let's dive in.
If you're just learning SEO, you picked the perfect time because the game has changed more this year than it has in the past 10 years. And that's to your advantage. People are finding answers on ChatGPT, Reddit, and YouTube rather than just Google. Google is rewriting search with AI overviews, and new tools now exist that can do 80% of the work without you. SEO used to be about optimizing for Google. 15 years ago, the only organic game in town was very much Google. There was no YouTube, there was no Instagram. All of these platforms either didn't exist or they were very nascent. Nowadays, you have to think about optimizing for YouTube. That's the second largest search engine in the world. You have to think about Amazon if you are optimizing for shoppers. If you're optimizing for different communities, you're optimizing for Reddit. The main thing to think about is that if you're only focusing on Google, you are missing out.
All right, you caught me. Yep. Hopefully if you're on the West Coast, also getting your caffeine this morning. Part of being live. Thanks, Marie, for being so efficient. One of my clients in Chicago, and I won't mention his name, but he is a financial advisor, and he reached out and said, look, I need to increase visibility. And he confessed to me that he betrayed my trust. No, he didn't. But he was trying, by hiring a fancy marketing agency that was local and somebody he knew, drop a few grand on Google SEO. They tweaked some of his keywords, wrote a couple of blog posts, and then published it, polished up his LinkedIn and social profiles, hoping that would improve the visibility of his website. Now, honestly, his website does look prettier, but here's the punchline. 60 days later, no increase in traffic whatsoever. Why? Because people aren't Googling like they used to. They're not Googling financial advisor in Chicago anymore. They're asking ChatGPT, who's the best financial advisor near me in the Chicago area. And guess what? ChatGPT doesn't care about your optimized meta tags. If your Google My Business or Google Business profile is empty and your reviews are missing or MIA. So make sure that you're completing that profile, especially your services descriptions, listed services and your descriptions. And that agency he paid didn't touch his Google profile at all, which I was shocked because they did a pretty good job on everything else. But they didn't help him get reviews, and they didn't clarify who he serves. They didn't create a targeted audience, and didn't check if he showed up in the rankings or gave him any sort of increased ranking report. And that's what I would think would be standard for any SEO marketing company. Meanwhile, his biggest competitor that he was trying to catch up and compete with had dozens of consistent 5-star reviews, and he couldn't seem to catch up with them. So, of course, my client left frustrated, reached out to me, and he's a friend of mine, so I gave him a hard time. But he left that agency with a few $1,000s less in his pocket, and we started working on what actually works now. So let's talk about that. When we stepped in to fix it, one, we optimized his, as you guess, Google business profile, and we cleaned up everything and made sure that we completed every single element of the profile. If it suggests to add services, make sure you add every potential possible service you can. If it asks you to turn on chat, turn on chat. Like, utilize everything that the Google My Business profile offers you and make sure that you complete it as much as you possibly can. And then we automated keyword rich local reviews, meaning automate the requests that go out to everybody he meets with, everybody he knows, gets an automated follow-up to a meeting that asks them to share their feedback, and it goes straight to their Google reviews. Excuse me. And then we refined his messaging for both humans and AI, which AI is going to become more and more relevant. And it's important that we start now so that we can take advantage of those who have not yet done that. And then clarifying his website so that the messaging is optimized not just for Google rankings, but also for being identified by AI as it scrapes the web. And within probably 45 days, maybe 2 months, his website traffic began to significantly increase. And he actually called me back and talked about how one particular prospect that he converted into a client actually said to him, I'll be honest with you, the only reason that I first called you was because you came up as a recommendation from ChatGPT, which we both laughed about. And I'll probably keep giving him a hard time about it. But that's the power of optimizing for AI recommendations and not just Google SEO. This strategy is now referred to as GEO instead of SEO. Let's check it out.
GEO is the new SEO, and if you're not learning GEO, you're falling behind. This is essentially the ranking position on AI that you're at. And whenever there's a ranking position, we can try to move ourselves up to that top #1 position on generative engines. How do you inject your brand into generative engines? You become an entity. An entity is actually really simple, and it's been going around the traditional SEO world for a long time. An entity is a person, place, or thing. It's a noun, and particularly a noun with a machine ID. And so these are things, people, places, or things that a machine understands and has a specific ID for. So they have pinpointed, right, the Eiffel Tower as a thing, as an entity. And Google, as well as Wikidata, has been doing this for a long time. This is the advent of the semantic web, and it's what current Google is all around. They have these machine IDs, and they build up a knowledge graph of the entire world. And generative engines do the same thing. They have an ID, and they use that same or similar ID for entities, and then they have facts around that ID. And so this ID should be your brand. And that is a core step in this process, is you need to become a verified entity in the eyes of the LLMs.
Okay, so let's overview this strategy of how to do what was just talked about. So, and I'm going to try and go slow enough to where my producer can keep up. But first, fill out every section, description, services, FAQ, hours, and reviews of your Google My Business profile. So we already went over that, but there's an example. There's Sky Tower, and there's a lot more he could add in there, but you can see he's got 20 reviews. All right, and then number 2, upload clear and relevant photos regularly, like photos inside your office, outside your office, from down the street, who's next door to you, a picture with you and your client, your employees, all of that. You can be uploading those photos. So you can see those are photos of my office and our team in front of our office, logos, thumbnails. So you can see that's all. People can browse through all of that because you can post unlimited photos on your Google My Business or Google Local profile. Okay. Also use natural keywords in your descriptions, things that would be relevant to your services. There you go. Look at that. Financial advisor, retirement planning, investment management. This is, of course, an example. Use AI to get all the keywords possible and then plug them in. Drop them into your profile. Awesome. Okay, that's a great example. Answer customer questions on your profile. If they post in chat on your Google My Business listing and you don't reply to every single one, that says you're not a responsive business owner and that you don't care about a high level of customer service. So make sure somebody needs to be constantly checking and replying to every single comment on that profile. And then finally, don't leave your Google My Business empty in any category, or AI assumes you don't care. And most importantly, which same thing with responding to your reviews, responding to your comments, is you want to show the AI, the world, and people checking you out that you do care. All right. Let me know in the comments if you know what needs to be fixed in your Google profile. And we have a question. So while people are answering that question in the chat, what needs to be fixed in your Google profile? Here's a question from Olivia in Chicago. Interesting. No, not the same advisor I talked to before, but yes, the question being no, do new photos really help ranking? And the answer obviously is yes. The more activity you show, the more AI believes that you're doing business with more people more actively. So definitely keep updating those. And in the meantime, let's check this out.
Some crazy, simple Google Business Profile SEO tricks you can steal to boost your rankings overnight. One of the quickest ways to get your Google Business Profile to the top of Google Maps is by adding the main keyword you are trying to rank for in your business name. I've seen businesses shoot up to the #1 spot in less than 48 hours just by doing it. Choosing the right primary category for your Google Business Profile is a big deal. It has a huge impact on your visibility in local searches and how Google ranks you. When you pick your business categories, Google might suggest some services you can add to your listing. These will help you show up in Google Maps searches when people look for them. Often, Google automatically adds these services to your Google Business listing on your behalf, but not always. Best move, log into your listing and add as many of the suggested ones as makes sense for your business. Since 98% of people check reviews before buying anything, it's pretty obvious that Google reviews matter a lot. They don't just help build trust, they also affect how well your Google Business Profile ranks in search results. But what really matters when it comes to reviews is your overall star rating, the number of reviews you have, how fast you're getting new reviews, and how recent your reviews are.
All right, so quick reviews. So don't forget, 1, reviews are social proof, and it does signal to AI and will pay attention to the keywords which are listed in those reviews. And then automate the process. What I mean is, so many of us business owners, we forget to ask people to actually give us their feedback, give us their feedback so that we can encourage them to actually add a review, not just to Google. This also matters for reviews that are anywhere else, Trustpilot and Facebook and everywhere else. Today, we're talking about your Google local listing. So, but automate the process. And there are lots of automation tools. We use Better Automate, which is a pre-built marketing agency with snapshots where all this is built out on the Go High Level platform with the automations. So we're not disguising anything. We've just built thousands of automations and snapshots that are made available to our clients. But you can use any automation tool, Flow, or any of these other automation tools. Make sure that every time you have a meeting, there's an you can even use Calendly that as a follow-up email to every meeting you have that asks people for feedback, and it goes straight to a link where they can give the feedback, give a review, post it. And you'll watch, you can go from 3 to 34 reviews in a matter of months, and we've seen it happen. And you'll start to see that translate into your AI recommendations. All right, so if you are still manually asking for reviews, let me know below. Just curious how many people have automated the process. We've had automation for 5-6 years, and looks like we have a question. So Jason from Tustin. Hey, Jason. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. How fast will I see results after updating my profile and reviews? 30 days. Absolutely. If you're doing regular reviews, you'll start seeing in 30 days a significant increase. Great question. Let's check out one of the recent videos. This was an interview I did with a Future Proof podcast about how automation is going to be a total game changer.
But the key and what I want to dive into with you, Rob, is the automation piece. Can you kind of explain to, especially if there's advisors out there that are watching this that aren't working with you yet, but explain how automation is changing the game, because I don't think everybody understands that.
No, and I think back to kind of our most recent deployment. There are features in our software, Better Automate, which is built on a Go high-level platform. It's an agency platform, just allowing us to clone things and then rebrand them for our clients on a faster scale. So we just deployed a couple months ago the ability that every time a meeting's over, 6 hours later, they get a follow-up email and text message saying, would you give us your feedback? And it's really just a Google review.
Right.
And so their feedback and their 5-star goes into a Google review. Now you're building your social proof and reviews online. And then 7 days later, ask them, hey, would you mind doing an email introduction to someone you think may value from our services? And so now you're getting the referral built in. And we just kept building that out for a 6-week period. And it goes out after every single meeting that the client has. And the clients are saying this is like, they're getting more meetings from referrals now than they've ever had before. And their social proof's increasing, and it's all completely automated. Yes. So we talked about making sure that you completely fill out your Google local listing, automate the process for reviews. And the last thing that I'm going to tell you today is clarify your website messaging. Make sure, because AI is going to scrape for clarity about when to recommend you and who to recommend you to. So you've got to optimize your website. Avoid vague slogans and use clear benefit-focused statements. Like, if you have this problem, we solve it this way. And finally, use storytelling to clearly communicate your brand, because people remember stories, and so does AI. Okay, so I was going to give you an example today. I'm not going to do that. Just keep in mind that if you show up on Wednesday to our masterclass, we'll walk you through this and implement these 3 things for you. And if you're interested in getting access to the ChatGPT, custom ChatGPT to help you optimize your website, just put website in the comment section and we'll take note of that and make sure that you get access. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, Melinda. Okay. So we'll answer this real quick. Can you work in any? Yes, absolutely. The GPT works with any industry whatsoever. It doesn't need to be the financial services industry. So yes, put website in the chat. All right, let's jump over to the most successful, famous story brand script writer in the marketing industry, Don Miller, for how to story brand.
The way that you talk about your business, your brand, your products, if the way you talk about those things is confusing or even worse, uninteresting, it's costing you a ton of money. It's costing your business money. It's costing you a connection with your customers. It's costing you the ability to solve people's problems. The heart of business is just solving people's problems and having them give you a fair compensation for solving their problem. Listen, the way most people talk about their businesses, it isn't working. In fact, most sales professionals, most companies, what they do is they fail to invite their customers into a story, And that is what most of us here are doing. If I go to your website, I cannot tell what problem you solve. I cannot tell how that product is going to solve that problem. You've positioned yourself as the hero. You're talking about a bunch of stuff I don't care about. You've gotten yourself out of my story rather than entering into my story. You're making a lot of mistakes. If you have a great product and you have really good people and you've got really great procedures to sell those products, but you're capped, you're stalled, you need the fourth P. The fourth P is positioning. How have you positioned your product in the marketplace so that people understand why they need it? Are the words you are using giving value to the products that you sell?
I love Don Miller, but let's talk about the hard data. Just recapping, businesses with a complete Google profile get 70% more visits and 50% more leads. To reviews with relevant keywords increase discoverability by 35%. And advisors in the financial industry, that's specific to this particular research study, who adapt the conversation to be about the prospect's concerns and problems rather than the industry education, have 2 times more likely chance to connect with their audience. And here's our last video of the day.
We need to understand the problem first. Most of us talk about our businesses using the words we use, even though our clients probably think and talk completely differently about it. Like, let's say you're a financial advisor. You might think it's important to talk about diversified investment strategies and tax-efficient withdrawals on your website. But your clients, they're thinking about completely different things, like, I'm scared I'm going to run out of money, or I don't want to be a burden on my kids. And that gap in language is huge. It's like you're speaking French, they're speaking Spanish, you're never going to connect. But when you bridge that gap and start using their words, your marketing improves practically overnight. So the student I was talking about, he's a web designer, and he'd been making his website all about, things like responsive design, UI, UX optimization, and cross-browser compatibility on his website. But nobody was contacting him. But then when he used AI to research how his potential clients actually talk and what they wanted, he discovered they weren't looking for any of that technical stuff. They wanted things like a website that doesn't look terrible on my phone, or a site that won't embarrass me in front of customers, or one that actually gets people to call me. Then when he rewrote his website using these exact phrases instead of all the tech jargon, his inquiries doubled in about 2 weeks. Same exact service, just described in words that his clients actually use and care about.
So stay away from industry-only terminology. Stop scaring people off with industry mumbo jumbo. Your clients, if they hear the word amateurization schedule, and they probably think you're casting a spell on them. They don't want a vocabulary lesson in financial terms. They want to know, can you help me retire without eating cat food? Like, really, like, speak human, not Wall Street. And you'll get more leads, trust, and clients actually take action. All right, so let's wrap this up. We've seen clients, just like in the video, double their inbound leads in under 90 days by just doing these 3 things. Complete your Google business profile. Automate your review collection and clarify your website messaging. That's how you get AI to recommend you without spending on ads. Invite viewers to comment and add reviews as often as you possibly can, and or clients. And if you want the ChatGPT link, join us on Friday. We're going to give you some automations that will help you implement all of these solutions that we've talked about today. And we're going to tackle the implementation with you live in the masterclass. So if you want specific help because you can't make Friday, you're always welcome to reach out to me directly, and we can do a 15-minute strategy call. That's schedule15minutes.com, and I'd be happy to kind of do an evaluation and give you some recommendations. But here's my challenge for you today. Take 15 minutes today. Don't put it off. to update your online presence and watch how AI will start to work for you. And in 30 days, you're going to see a significant difference. If you're tired of being invisible while your competitors' cat videos outrank you, then join us on Friday. We'll help you fix the problem. We'll go deep on getting how to get found by AI and start attracting the ideal clients and dominate your niche without burning out or living on pizza and beer. Let's make you so top of mind that even ChatGPT can't shut up about you. Until then, stay sharp, stay searchable, and remember, if AI can't find you, your clients won't either. So until next week, we'll see you in the digital world.